All right, now let's get to the meat of it all. Oh, of course you have a little user manual, which probably not gonna read. And just throw it over there. What's going on YouTube? 6'5" Rider here, coming back to you with another video. In today's video, we're gonna do a first unboxing of my new helmet. Before we do that, I wanna go ahead and introduce my outgoing helmet so we can say thank you and goodbye to it. If you've been watching the channel for some time now, you'll know that I've been rocking a Shoei RF-1400, and I did a first unboxing video linked over here on that. When I first got it, that was about 4 years ago. So this is my outgoing helmet. As you guys have seen it, it's the Shoei RF-1400. It's a great helmet. I've been rocking it for about 4 years. It's DOT certified and it's Snell approved. It's been a great helmet, and it's been really hard for me to kind of get another helmet just because of how good this one has been. It's pretty light. It's not the lightest helmet that I've had, but it's definitely one of the quietest helmets that I've had before. And this actually has been my primary helmet for the past 4 years. I do have a couple of others. I have a Bell SRT modular helmet, and I have a Biltwell kind of vintage looking type of helmet. I've had a Ruroc before, but I only wear those on occasion. This is actually my primary helmet that I wear whenever I'm going out on a ride. And I do this on both the Harley and the Indian. So without further ado and without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and introduce my new primary helmet. Yes, it's another Shoei. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm a big Shoei fanboy. It's a Shoei, all right, but it's not an intro level Shoei like my RF-SR. This one's actually a higher tier Shoei, and I've been super excited to get this one. So let's go ahead and do a first unboxing of this helmet. Yes! Comes standard with a pin lock ready shield. If you guys don't know what a pin lock shield is, it basically prevents your visor from fogging up in cold conditions. And you have these two little notches on each side of the shield that the pin lock goes into, which creates a little bit of a space between the visor and the shield, so that way you can prevent any fog in, you know, cold mornings, rainy, humid rides, and things like that. This is like a $30, $40 value, so I am so glad that Shoei decided to include it with this helmet. Oh, look at this packaging. As you guys can tell, and you guys don't know what the helmet is yet, but I'm just unboxing it piece by piece. Here's the little nose piece that goes in the front of your helmet to kind of give you a little bit more isolation, make sure that the helmet stays quiet and less things hitting your eye. And then you have this guy, little silicone piece. And finally, the helmet comes standard with a chin curtain. Chin curtains are so important in helmets nowadays, especially if you value a quiet helmet. All right, now let's get to the meat of it all. Oh, of course you have a little user manual, which probably not gonna read. And just throw it over there. Here we go, here we go. Can you guys guess what color I got? Guess what color? Pause the video right there. Write in the comments below what color Shoei helmet did I get. All right, I'm gonna trust that you guys paused it and commented down there. Let's go ahead and do this. I haven't seen it yet. This is gonna be my first time. Oh, hell yes. Oh, look at that. Man, that is a beauty, isn't it? Sheesh. Yes, it is the Shoei RF-1400. And if you don't know much about the Shoei RF-1400, it's actually one of the best helmets on the market out there, one of the most popular helmets on the market out there. And I am super excited about this. Oh, hell yes. So you can tell here, helmet is DOT certified as well as Snell approved. Snell and DOT are both safety standards here in the US, with the DOT being the absolute minimum requirement, and then Snell being an additional layer of a requirement for a helmet. A lot of tracks require a Snell helmet in order for you to be able to get your bike on the track or actually go on the track. The third one is the ECE rating, which is the standard for the European market. So it doesn't really apply here in the US, but if you get something that's certified by all three, by all means then. So yeah, here's the helmet, RF-1400. I did try it out before I bought it because I usually wear a medium, pretty small head, and that's what I wore on my Shoei RF-SR. However, when I went to the store, to the cycle gear store to try it out, it was so freaking tight, especially on the cheeks. So like it had my cheeks like that kind of, where it was like hard to talk. But I'm gonna go ahead and try it out and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, still pretty tight, but it's not that bad. But I don't know if you guys can tell. Like you'll see here how my cheeks are super squeezed, which really provides a good stable helmet. But the problem is, like, after a while of wearing this, you kind of tend to get like, oh man, really tight. With me knowing that the cheek pads are really tight, what I decided to do is actually do a little bit of research because I really wanted this helmet, and I realized that what you can do is you can actually buy a different size cheek pad for this helmet directly from Shoei. These are actually sold out in a lot of places, so I ended up buying it from a reseller on Amazon, but it's a original Shoei part. And I actually had to go with the 31 millimeters. I don't know if you guys can see it here, because what comes on these helmets standard is the 35 millimeter on the inside. So all you have to do really is to kind of swap it out with these. I'm not gonna go ahead and do it now, I'm gonna do it later, but I just wanna show you guys what it looks like. You'll see it's the same exact material being sold from Shoei. It's just a little bit thinner as far as the cheek pad goes. So in theory, this should resolve the issue that I'm having with the tightness. I'll do a quick comparison between this and my RF-SR, and I can tell you already, as far as weight goes, this one's definitely a little bit heavier. I think the difference is like a half a pound or a little bit less than a half a pound, but the RF-SR definitely feels heavier than the RF-1400. The differences also, you can see the visor mechanism on the RF-SR. It's just your good old standard where you lift it from here, from the side. Unfortunately, and this is something a lot of people didn't like about the RF-1400, is the fact is that you have to actually press the button and then raise it. So you can't just be like, oh, let me raise it, or like, oh, let me just lift the button. No, you have to actually come here, press it, and then lift it. From the reviews that I've read, a lot of people were super annoyed about this lock mechanism, but I think you get used to it over time. You'll see here, there's a couple of vents for the air to kind of come in. You do have vents at the top up here as well. You can open or close these guys, and once it opens, the air will kind of come in, circulate, and then has a way to actually exit, which is a really cool feature of this helmet. From what I understand, these are really good helmet for both cruisers as well as sport bikes. So it should accommodate the upright seating position as well as like the duck down kind of sport riding position. I like it. I think it looks really cool, looks really aggressive, and I decided to go with this gray color because, I don't know, I've been rocking a black helmet for a while, so I thought it might be time to change. So I also bought a dark visor for that helmet, which comes separately. Unfortunately, you know, like most things these days, you have to buy things separately. But I definitely needed the dark visor, and I didn't want to go for the photochromatic one, which is the one that kind of tints in the sun and then becomes clear in the during the nighttime or whatever, just because first of all, it's 200 bucks. And second of all, like I heard it doesn't get too dark. So this helmet actually comes in at about $619 US. However, for Black Friday, I managed to actually snag this one for $519. It was about $100 cheaper. The Shoei RF-1400, when I bought it, they had a really good deal on it where I bought it for $399, I believe, because you know, it's your entry-level Shoei helmet. So yeah, $100 off, not bad. But then when you consider the thinner cheek pads that I had to buy, those were about 50 bucks. And then the smoked out visor, the dark visor, which I don't have yet, should be here in a couple of days. It kind of balances out and comes out to the full price of the helmet. This should be my helmet for the next few years. Again, my primary helmet, because I always like to have a primary helmet that's a pretty premium one, and then have a couple of other helmets that I can wear when I'm like, oh, let's head to the gym, let me take a ride out to the grocery store or whatever. So this is gonna be my next primary helmet. So I was originally looking and comparing between this one and the Arai Regent X, which I'll put a photo of over here. The Regent X is actually Arai's intro level helmet. And I remember when I was at Cycle Gear, I actually tried it on. It was like one of the most comfortable helmets that I've ever put on in my life. But there were some couple of issues with it based on reviews and based on just what I saw, as the fact that the liners within the helmet are non-removable, so you can't actually remove them, which sucks, especially if you tend to like kind of wash your liners, especially if you're riding in the summer or get caught in the rain or something. The other thing is I heard the wind noise is pretty high, which isn't that big of a deal because I recently started wearing earplugs whenever I'm riding. So that shouldn't have been a big of a factor, but it still was for me. And then finally, the way it looks is a little too round for my taste. So it kind of gives you that astronaut look, or a little, you know, it would be nice to wear it if I'm like on a little old vintage Triumph or something. But I don't know, it didn't look too good on the Harley. And so between those two, I decided to go with the Shoei, just based on looks, function, and I guess we'll see comfort once I actually exchange the cheek pad liners. I'll definitely keep you guys posted in other videos on how the helmet feels once I actually make a decision whether I'm gonna keep it or send it back. And again, this all boils down to like whether or not the smaller cheek pads make the helmet more comfortable. In my next video, I'll probably do a review of my RF-SR. This, as you can see, like I said, I had it almost 4 years. I bought it back in 2020. It's still in great shape. I dropped it unfortunately a couple of times, scratched up the visor a couple of times, but it's held its own, man. I went to Sturgis with this. I did a couple of Daytona trips with this, and it's been a great helmet. You can tell here some little wear and tear, but stay tuned for that video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video here today. If you did, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace. Later.